All right, let's get right into it. We're going to unpack everything about the next big thing in metabolic medicine, RETATRUTIDE. We'll cover the science, the absolutely wild trial results, and, the two completely different camps that are buzzing about this compound.
And hey, just a quick shout out to infinitypeptides.com. They're the ones who made this whole explainer possible, so thank you to them.
Look, you've heard about Ozempic, you've heard about Mounjaro. I mean, they've totally changed the game, right? But things are moving so fast in this space. It makes you wonder, what's really next? What's the next big leap?
But that brings us to RETATRUTIDE. This is the one to watch. It's in phase 3 trials right now, and people are calling it the Triple G. And trust me, there's a very good reason for that nickname. This thing is shaping up to be the next major step forward, and maybe a much more powerful one.
This right here, this shows you the whole story. It's a perfect evolution. We started with semaglutide hitting just one target. Then came tirzepatide hitting 2. And now, retatrutide comes along and hits 3. It's a triple threat, adding a whole new angle to the attack. So the big question is, what do these 3 receptors actually do?
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, because if you understand how these 3 pathways work, you'll see exactly why everyone is so hyped about RETATRUTIDE.
Okay, first up is GLP-1. This is the one you probably already know about. It's the OG. It talks to your brain and helps turn down that constant food noise, And it also slows down digestion, which is why you feel full for way longer. This is the bedrock, the foundation of how these meds work. Then Mounjaro, or tirzepatide, brought GIP into the picture. It works hand in hand with GLP-1 to get blood sugar under control. But here's the kicker. It also seems to ramp up how much energy you're burning. And that's a huge reason why people saw even better results when they switched from a single to a dual agonist drug.
And this is the real game changer. The glucagon part. This is what makes retatrutide so different. It targets your liver and your actual fat cells, telling them to crank up your metabolism and start breaking down stored fat for fuel. We're talking about directly stimulating fat burning. It's a whole new playbook.
I love this analogy from Dr. Jones. It just makes so much sense. He says to think of insulin as Superman. He's always trying to lower your blood sugar. Well, glucagon is Lex Luthor. It's the counterforce, doing the exact opposite. It mobilizes your energy reserves. The two together create this perfect, powerful balance.
Okay, so you've got this super powerful 3-pronged attack. The obvious question is, did it work? Well, let me tell you, the data from the phase 2 trials is, honestly, it's just jaw-dropping. Just take a second and look at that number, 24.2%. That's the average body weight loss in under a year. To be clear, we have never, ever seen a number like that from a weight loss drug trial. Ever.
And if that number isn't crazy enough on its own, let's put it in context. Tirzepatide was incredible, right? 21% weight loss, but that took 72 weeks. RETATRUTIDE got more weight loss, over 24% in only 48 weeks. That's way more in 2/3 of the time. The speed here is just on a whole other level.
And it gets better, because it's not just about what you see on the scale. There was a smaller study that looked at liver fat, that really dangerous internal fat wrapped around your organs. And get this, retatrutide slashed liver fat by up to 86% in some people. That's not just weight loss. That's a massive win for actual metabolic health.
So, when you have results this insane, it's no surprise that people start paying attention. And what's fascinating is that 2 completely separate worlds are looking at this drug for totally different reasons. You've got the medical community, and then you've got the world of performance enhancement.
On the medical side of things, it's pretty straightforward. As Dr. Kevin Joseph puts it, this is another tool in the arsenal. It's for tackling obesity, for metabolic problems, and maybe most importantly, it offers real hope for those patients who just don't respond to the drugs we have now.
And this really lays out the split, doesn't it? The goals couldn't be more different. One side is trying to treat disease, fight obesity, control diabetes. The other side, they're looking at it as an optimizer, a way to make steroid cycles safer, to get absolutely shredded for a competition without losing muscle, and even to help regain hormonal sensitivity. 2 different universes.
This quote from Dr. James just nails the performance mindset. He says, it's not a Weight Watchers drug. In that world, it's not about losing 20 pounds. It's seen as a neural upgrade, a tool for better recovery, and a way to potentially make advanced cycles safer. It's a completely different way of looking at the same molecule.
Okay, so the promise is obviously incredible, but we need to pump the brakes a little bit. We have to be realistic and separate all this hype from what we actually know and what we don't. Let's be clear, the upside is huge. We're talking faster, bigger weight loss, a new option for people who've tried everything else. And there are even hints it could have fewer side effects. That glucagon component helps protect against your blood sugar crashing. And because it's hitting 3 targets, it doesn't have to hit any one of them quite as hard, which might mean less of that nausea and GI stuff for some people. But, and this is a big but, what about the risks? What are the catches?
All right, here's the reality check. First off, this stuff is not approved yet. We have zero idea about long-term safety. That big trial? It was only about 338 people. That is a tiny, tiny group. They also saw a small increase in heart rate in some folks, which definitely needs a closer look. And ironically, that weaker binding that might help with side effects, well, it might also mean less appetite suppression, which could be a deal breaker for some. This is not a magic bullet that protects you from everything.
So for anyone looking into this for research purposes right now, the experts are all saying the same thing. 1. Start low and go slow. Titrate your dose up gradually. 2. You absolutely have to use a reputable source, not some sketchy website. 3. This doesn't replace diet and exercise, it works with them. And 4, especially for the performance crowd, getting regular blood work is not a suggestion, it is critical.
So where does that leave us? Is this the metabolic holy grail we've been hearing about? Or is there a hidden cost to all this power that we just haven't discovered yet? Honestly, we don't know. The next round of trials will tell the tale. And believe me, everybody is watching.
And that's a wrap. This explainer was made possible by our friends at infinitypeptide.com. Hey, if you got something out of this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more. We'll catch you on the next one.